discovery in the simplest terms possible, because it will reveal to you why it is true that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve, regardless of how many times you may have failed in the past or how lofty your aims and hopes may be.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Pain is temporary. It may last for a minute, or an hour, or a day, or even a year. But eventually, it will subside, and something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it will last forever.
The margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second.
You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves, they want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.
Don't be afraid to fail. You can't always win, but don't be afraid of making decisions.
You have to believe that something different can happen. He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right.
That most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us.
Dig deep down, ask yourselves, who do you want to be? Figuring out for yourselves what makes you happy, no matter how crazy it may sound to the people.
Make a choice. Like, you just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide.
Why not? Why can't I be the MVP of the league? Why can't I be the best player in the league? I don't see why. Why can't I do that?
What is it you said to the kid? It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. Get up.
Get up. And don't ever give up.
We can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time.
To be able at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you will become. Most of you won't be successful because when you're studying and you get tired, you quit. I don't do well in math. You're right. You ain't never studied. I'm not good in writing because you have never written before.
Talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft. If you are not making someone else's life better, then you're wasting your time.
Don't cry to give up. Cry to keep going. Don't cry to quit. You already in pain. You already hurt. Get a reward from it.
Now if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. gotta be willing to take the hits and not point the finger saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Because every day is a new day. Every moment is a new moment. So now you got to go out and show them that I'm a different creature. Now!
I'm going to show you how great I am. Chapters and Luke is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure.
Now, what are you gonna do?
Because limits, like fears, are often just an illusion.
All right, everyone, let's get it going. Jeremy, what do you got?
A guy who 16 months ago had never played in the major leagues, but now he's been elected to 2 All-Star teams, won the Rookie of the Year award of the American League unanimously, and many people in baseball are saying that he has the potential to be the best ever at his position.
Where was he a year and a half ago?
That's the thing that makes Evan Longoria in a lot of ways so special. I mean, he really did come out of nowhere in a sense. Not only was he not drafted out of high school, not only was he not recruited by a single Division I baseball program, he was barely recruited by Division III, which doesn't award scholarships.
What changed for him?
Well, he'll tell you the most important thing that changed for him was his mental maturation. What goes on in the mind of Tampa Bay Rays third baseman Evan Longoria has helped him emerge as one of the game's highest profile young stars. The focus, the sense of calm, the faith in process, they're all essential components of his makeup.
Let's go to work, come on.
Everybody says the same thing to me. They watch him go up to the plate, holds the bat like he's sleeping until he explodes at the ball.
Evan Longoria tries the first pitch in the right center field, and Dean Thompson is back for the wall.
I see a lot of guys who have a lot of physical ability but don't have enough up top to, be able to control certain situations, or, some guys don't really buy into the whole mental training side of baseball, I guess. But for me, I've been doing it for so long that it's something that I trust.
Longoria has been doing it for 5 years. Before then, there was no reason to believe he'd develop into a major leaguer. In 2003, when he graduated from high school, 1,480 players were selected in the baseball draft. He wasn't one of them, nor was he recruited to play Division I college baseball. Did you deserve to be overlooked when you were coming out of high school?
Definitely. Yeah, I wasn't good. I mean, I knew the game. I enjoyed playing the game. As far as ability and talent, I wasn't a professional player at that time.
After hitting .430, Longoria transferred to Division I Long Beach State. There, he was introduced to the theories of Ken Ravizza, a professor of kinesiology and author of several books on sports psychology.
The essence is the idea of learning to be comfortable being uncomfortable and having something to go to when the garbage hits the fan, because the garbage will hit the fan, and let's be ready for it.
More than anything else, Ravizza preaches the gospel of mental preparation and structure. He teaches players to recognize failure as an unavoidable part of the game and how not to dwell on it. In the last 2 decades, he's been a paid advisor to several college and major league teams. When you first were exposed to Ken's teachings, even you said, come on, this stuff can't really work. What was the turning point, you think?
We started playing in a lot of stadiums where it was a packed house, or the pressure was on, and that's when I started to realize when the game becomes more of a mental grind, I needed something to go to.
How do you think those theories helped him?
I think it calmed him. I think the mental game really helped him, and how he was way balanced after bad at-bats or bad games.
Oh, come on, you can't just turn it over like that.
As Longoria matured physically, his mental training allowed him to maximize his talents. He emerged as a top prospect in the summer of 2005 when he was named MVP of the Cape Cod League, a traditional breeding ground for high draft picks. In the 2006 draft, 3 years after failing to be selected at all, Longoria was the 3rd overall pick.
The Tampa Bay Devil Rays select Evan Longoria.
How did he get so much better so quickly?
I think his openness, that it didn't come easy, that he went through the rejection, and he was willing to take the risk to grow versus playing it safe all the time.
Longoria's mental maturity helped convince the Rays that he could be the cornerstone of the franchise. Just 6 games into his major league career, they signed him to a 9-year contract worth up to $44.5 million. Coincidentally, Longoria had found another true believer in Rays manager Joe Maddon, a longtime proponent of the Ravizza method.
What Ken does is it's an attempt to make you think in a different or more clear way, controlling the controllable aspects of playing this game.
Every time I see Evan, it's hello, and what do you got for me today?
There's a zen-like quality to Longoria's focusing techniques.
Ken talks a lot about the focal point. If I make an error in the field, or if I swing at a pitch in the dirt at the plate, and I really feel like, I've lost control of either my emotions or the at-bat, that's when I step out. I always look at the left field foul pole, at the top of the left field foul pole. Just
wherever
because,
you are, just
yeah,
in this
just
ballpark.
because I know there's always going to be a top of the left field foul pole. So,
and it works for you.
It works for me.
Even when he's not in the lineup, Longoria follows a mental routine. He'll slide on his batting gloves and imagine himself at bat. When he is playing, rituals help him relax and focus.
Hey, me and you. Ground ball, come on.
Not everyone attributes Longoria's success to his mental focus. There's his work ethic, his bat speed, and another undeniable factor. Your buddies out in California that we spoke to said that they thought it was actually a big moment in your career and development when Eva Longoria became famous.
It seemed like everywhere I went, that was the only thing I heard for 2.5, 3 years now. But it kind of got my name out there. Whether it was Eva or Evan, obviously they remember the last name.
From what I understand, last year she got you a bottle of champagne when you made the All-Star team. What did she get you this year?
Nah, she gave up. She gave up on me.
In the 2008 World Series, the chant "Eva, Eva" floated through the air in Philadelphia. Whether or not the taunting bothered him, Evan Longoria went 1 for 20 against the Phillies.
It could have been the pressure that I was putting on myself. It could have been the outside distractions that I let get to me, and I look back now and kind of kick myself in the butt for that. Things kind of sped up on me. I think that was part of the whole experience for me too, is just learning those feelings.
He gets upset, but he's got some tools that he uses, and he knows that's part of the game. And then this goes back to his background where it didn't come easy. He had to struggle at times.
From undrafted and unrecruited to the All-Star game and the World Series, it's been a quick trip for Evan Longoria. Now comes the hard part, maintaining focus. Do you think there will be a day when you don't need a focal point, when you don't need the mental exercises that you do?
No, I don't think there will be, because as soon as you start believing that in this game, you'll get humbled in a heartbeat. I'll always have that to kind of keep in the back of my mind, and when I need it, use it.
Get rid of those negative thoughts. Get back to the moment. Prepare to get a hit.
It was a question of working hard, and I think for somebody aspiring to take things to the next level or to even surpass their wildest dreams, there's always going to have to be an element of luck. But I think more important is putting yourself in a business that can be ubiquitous. But I never ever felt like I wouldn't be able to work hard enough to succeed. It didn't matter how many times I failed. I just kept on going and going and going. I learned from my mistakes. I've told a lot of people, it doesn't matter how many times you fail. If you get it right, you're an overnight success. All you gotta do is get it right one time, and you're that overnight success. And then I loved every minute of it. That's not to say there weren't times where there was a lot of stress. There weren't times when I thought we were going out of business. There weren't times where I was scared out of my mind. There were. But just the juice of just competing. It's you against the world. It's your idea.
In that time period, I had to run on my own energy. I had to convince myself that I'm gonna make it. Regardless of how people felt at that time. And there's gonna be points that people are gonna mistake my confidence for arrogance, because they don't understand the process I went through and how much I had to believe in myself in order to make these things happen. I feel like you can will yourself into a good space. Things that are meant to happen will. And if you believe in yourself enough, you can help yourself learn. You can inspire yourself in different ways where you discipline yourself to the point that you can become good enough.
I think the most important thing about being successful is not being afraid to be unsuccessful. You're going to fail on your path to being successful.
Dedicated, just wanted to be out on the field every single day.
Yes, it took very much hard work.
A lot of believing.
A lot of losing, but at one point you're going to win.
Just overcoming failures and stuff, just becoming more mentally strong.
My goals have changed over time because I've seen that a lot of my past goals have been unrealistic, like going to the MLB, things like that. So I kind of just grew up, and now I have other goals.
They've gotten more realistic. I've narrowed them down to what I'm good at, what I like.
What do you think keeps people from being successful?
Themselves. I think people don't take risks. People blame others and make excuses for their failures or their inability to becoming successful. They quit before they accomplish what they've set out to do.
Distractions such as TV and just other things.
Like
bad influences. Guys, I'm serious, get to work.
TV.
Coach Bamo, I am working.
No, I'm not.
Games, video games, computer games, Gatorade.
Economics class.
Economics class, pretty much all my classes.